On February 4th, 2004, a young Harvard student launched a website that acted as a directory to help students connect with each other. That website, called The Facebook, would go on to change our world. And that student, one Mark Zuckerberg, would go on to become one of the most powerful and richest people on Earth. It's been 20 years since its founding. Facebook, now Meta, has evolved and altered our world profoundly. Let's take a look back at those 20 years and what the next decades may bring. Meta, the parent company that owns Facebook, is one of the biggest companies in the world. More than 3 billion people use at least one of its products daily. It has a whopping $599 billion market value.
I mean, certainly a lot has changed since Mark Zuckerberg introduced the Facebook on a Harvard campus.
That's Justin Hendricks, the editor of Tech Policy Press, a non-profit media and community venture examining the intersection of technology and democracy.
The biggest thing that the company has achieved is scale. There's, hardly been anything quite like it in the world prior to its existence in terms of connecting humans.
So how did Facebook go from a dorm room startup to a titan of the tech industry? The story of Meta starts in 2003 when Mark Zuckerberg was a Harvard sophomore. He created a website that encouraged users to rate the attractiveness of fellow students. Shortly after, he built the Facebook.com, which connected Harvard students to each other. Quickly, the website expanded to include other .edu email addresses. By June of 2004, there were over 250,000 students signed up from over 34 colleges. Advertisers began to flock to the platform. By the end of 2005, it boasted 6 million monthly active users. As it opened up to international users, Facebook began to prove its importance in politics during the 2008 presidential election and the 2011 protests in Egypt. Activists and campaigners in both scenarios relied on Facebook's platform to disseminate information. 2012 then became a pivotal year for the company. It went public.
Founder Mark Zuckerberg, who's now 27 years old, will take it public. The IPO is expected to easily raise the $5 billion in cash Facebook says it needs to enhance and expand.
That same year, the company bought Instagram. Increasingly looking to diversify, the company later bought WhatsApp and Oculus VR in 2014. More recently, by 2021, Facebook rebranded to Meta, spurred by Zuckerberg's drive towards the metaverse and the company's continual diversification.
Oh, hey, Mark.
How has the company and its many changes affected us and our society?
There are an almost countless number of different types of groups and types of identity and types of various formulations of kind of human connection that have been fostered on Facebook. I guess the thing is that comes with unintended consequences, and we don't know what it means necessarily to connect so many minds together. We don't know how it changes the way we interact with one another.
Research increasingly points to the addictiveness of social media, especially on younger users.
I'm on Facebook on my iPad, on my Galaxy Pad, on my cell phone, or on my laptop all day, all the time.
Meta has been a key player in the research and debate. In fact, in October 2023, 41 states sued the company for knowingly using features on its platforms that cause compulsive use in children. The company has also been in the hot seat for other major issues, including privacy and interfering with democracy.
The biggest scandal for Facebook of the last 20 years has to be the Cambridge Analytica scandal.
The scandal revealed that millions of Facebook users' data had been harvested without their consent and used for political advertising for right-wing candidates, including Donald Trump and the Leave EU campaign in the UK.
There's no good fighting an election campaign on the facts, because actually it's all about emotion.
But headline after headline, of course, really brought to the fore the privacy concerns, and for a lot of folks really illustrated the sorts of concerns around possible political manipulation.
Other issues of content mediation, cracking down on hate speech and extremist accounts have plagued the company and created a more polarized online ecosystem. These societal changes have caused nations around the world to enact legislation to regulate big tech.
In Europe, of course, they have now pretty much the building blocks of a kind of total and comprehensive regulation. In the US, we've done next to nothing at the federal level to really take on social media regulation or reform.
The past 20 years have been tumultuous, to say the least. But with Meta so cemented as an industry leader, what may happen in the next 20 years?
Zuckerberg has put a lot of hope and a lot of stock into the idea that we all want to wander around in headsets and communicate with each other in 3 dimensions.
The technology is not quite there yet for VR, but the future will tell whether it will be popular.
I suspect the future for Meta is probably more going to be dictated by its investments in artificial intelligence.
For consumers, these often free tools and platforms come with a potential cost.
The lifeblood of all of these companies is personal data, personal information on you, me, and every one of your viewers. And even if you're not on these platforms, these companies are collecting data about you. It's important for there to be privacy protections in place. It's important for us to continue to study the implications of the collection of that information and of the function of these sites on society.